Hey guys, it's Bree. Happy December. It's a little hard to believe that it is already the last month of the year. I don't know where this year has gone. It's kind of got me in this nostalgic, grateful mode. I had a really rough year, and the more I think about it, the more grateful I am for all of you and for the community that we have here on BookTube. This was hit home especially today because I came home to a really pleasant surprise. We did a Secret Santa exchange for some of us here, and my Secret Santa present came in. Aside from the fact that there was something for Soren, which was amazing, there were two books that I'd really thought about getting for a while and had been putting off, and Winks from Winks and Ink sent them to me and was just very thoughtful. Keeping in mind that today is going to be a book haul, I wanted to start off with those two because they just really have actually made my day. The first thing I have is The Bone Dolls Twin. This is by Lynn Flewelling. And I've been meaning to read some Flewelling for a long time. This is one that's come up in conversation online a couple times recently, and so I put it on my Goodreads to read shelf, which, if you're like me, is like a I will hope to eventually one day maybe get to this. And it came in the mail because Winks had seen it and thought that it would be a fantastic Christmas toned story. The other thing she sent me was a copy of In the Miso Soup. This is by Ryu Murakami. And this is one that I've been meaning to read for a long time. I saw it for the first time on RG Doubleship's channel, and kind of have been tinkering around with the idea of picking it up for a couple of years. I am really hard-pressed when it comes to suspense-filled stories because I get a little too into them. But I'm really excited to read this. And one of the cool things that you maybe can't see, and this is totally a design aspect, is that the back cover copy is actually landscape, which is super cool. But this has been, compared to The Silence of the Lambs, it's been called one of the best thrillers in recent times, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. And speaking of Winks, one of the things that I have been really happy to have been doing is to be getting the Book Bath box subscription. And last month she picked out Asteroid Made of Dragons. This is actually my book read for the week. I'm really hoping that I like it. I'm about 20 pages in, so we'll see, but so far I really like the tone of it. I got a copy of Down Below Station by C.J. Cherry. This will be the first C.J. Cherry I have read. I have a couple others on my shelf, but this is the one that Catherine has said that I will love it. Rachel from Culinati has said I will love it. Basically everyone's like, read this book. Why haven't you read this book? And it's a space drama opera kind of deal, which sounds like something I will really enjoy. So the other thing I picked up was a copy of Crosstalk by Connie Willis. This is her latest release. And fun fact, I thought that this was a YA book. Mostly, like, just the cover of it was very YA to me, and so I didn't even really look that closely at it because, admittedly, I have a bias. And I saw that it was Connie Willis, and I was like, huh, that seems a little different to me. So I picked it up. This is a story about a world where people are connected mentally and emotionally, like in an actual brain-to-brain kind of sense, and it's about a girl who becomes emotionally and mentally linked to her fiance and kind of realizes that maybe that invasion of privacy is not what she actually wanted. So it sounds really interesting, a little bit like The Circle maybe by Dave Eggers, but I suspect Connie Willis is going to be telling a better story. So we'll see, again, one I'm excited for. I got a copy of Mission of Gravity. This is by Hal Clement. I picked this one up from my used bookstore, by and large because it was mentioned at a panel that I went to at Worldcon. Basically, it was a bunch of people talking about the stories that got them involved in science fiction kind of as youths. And I have like a list of like 40 books that people had mentioned because it devolved into just the crowd saying their favorite kids' books and books that got them into science fiction. And this was on them and has been so far the first one I've been able to get my hands on. You've probably seen me holding this one up in the last couple of weeks, but that's the Starlit Wood. This is new fairy tales. They're fairy tale retellings. This is a saga release. It's an anthology that has been put together by Novel Wolf, and I'm really liking it so far. Again, not overly far into it, but really enjoying it. It's a little bit darker than most fairy tales, or perhaps most modern adaptations of fairy tales, and I am quite liking it. I have a copy of Furthermore by Tahira Mafi, again, one you might have seen on my channel recently. This is a middle grade story. It's a portal fantasy about a young girl who has to save her father. This was almost exclusively a cover buy. I won't lie to you, look how pretty that is. I have a copy of Sunlight Pilgrims by Jenny Fagan. I read Jenny Fagan's The Panopticon a couple of years ago and really liked it, and so when I was offered this one for review, I picked it up. It's been on my shelf for quite a while now, actually, and I just haven't gotten around to picking it up. But I do have high hopes for it because I did just really like The Panopticon. I picked up The Heroine Complex by Sarah Kuhn. This is a super fun kind of Stephanie Plum meets Supergirl story. It's about a woman who is the personal assistant to her best friend who is a superhero. Turns out she has superpowers of her own and has to kind of step up to the plate when her best friend is out of commission. Then one that I've already read and have really liked is The Family Plot by Sherry Priest. This is more in the vein of a horror story. It is about a salvaging company that goes to this house, and it turns out that the house is very haunted. Then the next couple of books I have are actually nonfiction, which I really like nonfiction. The first one is Lab Girl by Hope Yaren. This is about a woman who goes on I guess like a cross-country trip with her lab partner. It sounds quite fun, a little bit, the kind of thing that provokes you into thinking. Also a national bestseller, a little bit sciencey, but perhaps not too sciencey. We'll see. It sounds like something up my alley at the very least. I have a copy of Where Am I Now by Mara Wilson. This is Mara Wilson's memoir. You might know Mara Wilson as the little girl who was Matilda. I've been told this is really funny. And I've followed Mara Wilson on Twitter for quite some time and really like her, hoping for good things. I have a copy of Gloria Steinem's My Life on the Road. Gloria Steinem is, of course, a famous feminist, and this is her memoir. I'll be interested to see what she says in this. I know Emma Watson picked this for her Book of the Month Club. And so I'm a little bit intrigued. I am not as familiar with Steinem's like collected memoirs as I would like to be. So we'll see what I think about it. And then the last thing I have is a copy of Amanda Palmer's The Art of Asking. Amanda Palmer is a musician who I'm quite fond of. I went and saw her in concert and picked up a signed copy of her book there. Let's go ahead and open this up. But I have been told that this is absolutely a fantastic read, the kind of thing you can read in one sitting, and that it will just like basically make you bawl, which I love in some nonfiction. So there you have it. Those are the books that I've picked up recently. Again, just thank you for being here as a community, and thank you in particular to Winx for taking care of me and Soren. I hope you all are having a fantastic start to December and having a great reading week. You know the drill. Comment, like, and subscribe. I'll talk to you later.